Alright guys, so this is our first attempt at a video lecture. First thing you need to do to make sure of is that you have your worksheet that I handed out in class today, Chapter 14, Section 1, the Hopes of Immigrants worksheet. If you don't have it, you lost it, there's a link on my Homework Now page to download it and use it digitally. You can type it right in. But it is due tomorrow, so please make sure that you have that completed. Also bring in your packets from class today. If there are any issues with this, please make sure you email me as soon as possible so I can fix them. So let's start off with first waves of immigration. So we're talking mid-1800s, 1840s, close to the 50s. A lot of the European countries were having a mass exodus, so to speak, out of their countries. And it was for one reason or another, political issues, religious issues, economic issues. Okay, those are the main reasons why they left. Those are called push and pull factors. A push factor is something that forces someone out of their country. So an example would be, economic strife or political turmoil, something they couldn't live with, so they had to leave. A pull factor is something that they look at another country and they see something that attracts them, so economic opportunity, political freedom, religious freedom. Those are pull factors, something that pulls into a country. Push factors push them out of a country. Another two terms that we do need to look at are emigrant with an E, E-M-I-G-R-A-N-T, versus immigrant, I-M-M-I-G-R-A-N-T. An emigrant is someone exiting a country for a reason. So somebody that's being pushed out is an emigrant. Somebody that's being pulled in is an immigrant. So when we talk about this in class, remember those two terms, emigrant versus immigrant. So those are the different terms that we need to understand before we get into anything else. So this mid-1840s entrance to a lot of immigration. We talked about in class today the gold rush. The gold rush attracted a lot of people, various groups, a lot from the Asian continent. Okay, on the west coast, it makes sense, coming across the Pacific Ocean. You also had Europeans coming in that were attracted to this new opportunity to find gold and make money because a lot of them came here poor. So that's when they decided to come over. That's why they decided to come over. So the first group we're going to take a look at, and if you use your worksheet you can follow right along, is the Scandinavians. Scandinavians came over because of political turmoil that took over in their country. So they weren't in agreement to how the country was being run. Okay, they weren't in agreement with the government. So they decided that they were going to leave and come to the United States. A lot of these Scandinavian groups mostly moved out to the Great Plains, so Midwest. Okay, a lot of them also went to the East Coast, Connecticut. Some went out to California. A lot of them, the main jobs that they had, really based in fishing, logging, farming. So when we think Scandinavian, we think fishing. So when you think of a fisherman, you think Scandinavian. Okay, think Viking. Okay, that would help you make that association between being on the water and fishing. Okay, that's that first group. Other major group that we look at is the Germans. Germans came over, again, political unrest. So we can see that there's a lot of things going on in Europe that people aren't too happy with, so they decide, I'm going to leave. The German immigrants came over. They settled mostly in the Midwest, like Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. A lot of them farmed, started their own businesses. We actually have a lot of interesting things made from German immigrants, and we'll talk about that in class tomorrow. The last group we're going to look at are the Irish. Okay, the Irish came over due to farming difficulties. Okay, they had what was called a potato famine. Basically, it was like a bacteria infestation, the potato crop, which was their main crop. So they had to leave. That was their main source of income and food. So they had to leave and come to the United States. A lot of them came here poor, no skill set, as we talked about in class the other day when we were talking about the war with Mexico. And they filled up the major cities, New York City, Boston, kind of the places that we associate with high Irish populations. A lot of them worked in the cities. A lot of them helped build the cities. A lot of them were kind of forced into the military. A lot of them, kind of lived in the slums in New York City, which we'll talk about more in class. And they had the menial factory jobs, very simple tasks, again, not very skilled. But the problem with the Irish immigrants is because they came over in such large numbers, there was a uproar of kind of hatred for the Irish population, that they kind of were compared to African Americans in terms of their worthiness in the United States. So that was an issue, and we're going to focus on that issue tomorrow in class. If you have any questions at all about what we just talked about, please make sure you email me as soon as possible. Do not wait until tomorrow morning to ask me. Okay, ask me as soon as you're done watching this video. Rewind, figure out how many, if you have to, rewind 10 times to answer the questions. Make sure you answer the question at the bottom as well, and finish filling the worksheet. And make sure you bring your packet about the California Gold Rush into class tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow morning or afternoon, depending on when your class is. All right, thanks, guys.